Welcome to After the Bell and the Capitalists versus Consumers Weekly Breakdown, your Friday after the close report. Today, the Dow crossed 51,000 for the first time ever. Dell surged 30% on AI server demand. The S&P 500 posted its ninth consecutive winning week. Oil fell below $88. And Secretary of State Rubio met with Pakistani mediators on Iran. A historic Friday to close out a historic May. Let's get into it. This video is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. Please hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a report. Today's close. Today was a strong final session to close out May. The Dow Jones Industrial Average sprinted above 51,000 for the first time ever, setting a new all-time record. The S&P 500 gained approximately 0.34%, posting its ninth consecutive weekly gain. The Nasdaq also finished positive. Tech and financial sectors led the S&P 500 higher today. The S&P 500 is on track to close May with solid gains for the second consecutive month. The AI rally and Iran deal optimism have been the twin engines driving this extraordinary run. Dell surges 30%. The standout performer today was Dell Technologies, surging nearly 30% after reporting earnings that showed booming demand for its AI servers. Dell is a critical but often overlooked player in the AI infrastructure build-out. While NVIDIA makes the chips and the cloud providers run the software, Dell builds and sells the actual physical servers that house all of it. Dell's blowout quarter confirms that enterprise demand for AI hardware is accelerating at every layer of the stack, not just chips. The AI trade is broadening, and Dell's extraordinary move today is evidence of that broadening reaching deep into the hardware supply chain. Oil falls below $88. Rubio meets Iran mediators. Oil continued its decline today. WTI crude falling to approximately $87.80 per barrel ahead of the close. That is a dramatic move from the $107 highs just a few weeks ago. The driver, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, is scheduled to meet with Pakistani Foreign Minister Mohammad Ishaq today, as Pakistan helps mediate indirect talks between the US and Iran. The market is interpreting Rubio's direct engagement with the Pakistani mediators as a sign that a real deal framework is closer than the previous false starts suggested. Every dollar oil falls from here reduces inflation pressure, pushes rate hike odds lower, and gives the Federal Reserve more flexibility. If oil reaches $80, which is now within range if talks continue progressing, the inflationary pressure from the Iran war effectively normalizes. Rate hike odds would collapse. Rate cut expectations could return. And the housing market, frozen at 6.68% mortgage rates, could finally start to thaw. The Gap tumbles. The consumer bifurcation continues. The Gap reported disappointing earnings today and cut its full-year sales forecast. Shares tumbled. The Gap serves a middle-market consumer who is feeling the squeeze of elevated gas prices and inflation. This is the same story we saw with Dollar General, Walmart's fuel cost warning, and Target's miss earlier this month. The K-shaped economy is in full display. Dell surging 30%. The Gap tumbling. The stock market at all-time highs. The middle-market consumer under pressure. Both things are true simultaneously. Blue Origin. Rocket explodes. A Blue Origin rocket exploded on a Florida launch pad overnight. The latest setback for Jeff Bezos' space company. Blue Origin has faced repeated reliability challenges compared to SpaceX. The timing is notable. SpaceX's IPO roadshow is expected to begin the week of June 2nd. Blue Origin's failures only strengthen SpaceX's competitive position in the commercial space launch market. The week in review. This was an extraordinary week and an extraordinary month. Here is the scorecard. Monday. Micron crossed $1 trillion in market cap, surging 19%. Russell 2000 hit an all-time high above 2,900. Tuesday. OpenAI lawsuit dismissed. Trump called off Iran strike. NVIDIA night delivered. Wednesday. Oil crashed 5.5% on Iran draft deal report. Dow set a new record. Snowflake surged 25% after hours. Thursday. S&P 500 and Nasdaq hit new records despite 3.8% PCE inflation. Zscaler crashed 30%. Iran ceasefire extension confirmed. Friday, Dow crosses 51,000 for the first time ever. Dell surges 30% on AI server demand. Oil below $88. Rubio meets Iran mediators. S&P 500 posts its 9th consecutive winning week. For the month of May, the S&P 500 delivered one of its strongest performances in years. The AI trade was validated by Nvidia. The OpenAI legal overhang was removed. The Iran situation is moving toward resolution. And corporate earnings confirmed that the AI infrastructure build-out is generating real returns across the entire supply chain, from chips to memory to servers to software. What to watch next week? The SpaceX IPO roadshow begins the week of June 2nd. This is the most anticipated offering since Meta went public in 2012. At a valuation approaching $350 billion, with real revenue from Starlink and government contracts, this could be one of the most significant market events of the summer. The Iran situation could resolve over the weekend, with Rubio actively engaging mediators today. Any deal announcement opens markets dramatically higher, Monday morning. Watch your phone this weekend. Kevin Warsh holds his first FOMC meeting as Fed chair in June. Any early communication signals about his rate philosophy move markets. The bottom line, May 2026 was one of the most extraordinary months in recent market history. New records across the board. The AI earnings season delivered. Oil fell from $107 to below $88. The OpenAI legal cloud lifted. And the Dow crossed 51,000 for the first time ever. For long-term investors, this month validated staying invested through the Iran war fears, the inflation shock, and the rate hike concerns. Patient, diversified investors who did not panic are sitting on extraordinary gains. For everyday Americans, lower oil means lower gas prices coming at the pump. If the Iran deal holds through June, the inflation picture improves significantly, and the Fed's rate hike threat recedes. Stay invested. Stay diversified. And watch the Iran developments very closely this weekend. That is your After the Bell and weekly breakdown for the week of May 25th through May 29th, 2026, here at Capitalists versus Consumers. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss our daily report or weekly breakdown every Friday. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday at the closing bell. Affiliate links. Small commission at no cost to you. Educational purposes only, not financial advice.